The following statements you are about to hear are not made to offend or hurt anybody's feelings, although we may discuss serious topics. It's all entertainment, man. In all reality, don't take too serious. Have fun, laugh a little bit, relax. Let's talk about it. Shades Talk.
Okay. Tell us something about the company you started that helps people progress in life and become successful or more successful. Get out here, Leo. Let's talk about it.
Target stop push. Come on.
Okay.
Come on.
Well, thank you, Jimmy, for allowing me to be on this podcast.
Platform, yeah.
Politic'n and
Politic'n with Shades.
with Shades. I like it. Politic'n with Shades. I love it. Okay. Well, I'll say about Straight Path. Yes.
Sure.
So I'm gonna start with the fact that where it was inspired and where it came from. So it is a life coaching company, but before I became a life coach, I was going through a lot. So I went through divorce and everything like that, and was entering into single momhood, and so with two girls, and so I was trying to figure out life, what I wanted to do, and things like that. I actually found the passion of life coaching when I was in college. I went to BG, Go Falcons.
Go Falcons!
Yeah, I'm still a Buckeye fan. I love Buckeyes, obviously.
No, tell your story. My bad.
That's where I went, to BG. So anyway, Kela actually was the one that brought up the idea of life coaching. And when you go into something, yes, when you going through stuff, you're like, what can I offer somebody else? You going through something, you don't want to, but I realized a lot of times people want, the vulnerable you. They want to be able to relate to somebody like them. Yeah. And so, like they say, without the test, there's no testimony. And so with the test that God was doing for me, was doing through me, I didn't know at the time, but eventually I started to see, I really want to have more of a purpose, driven life, not just the book, but really I wanted to have a purpose driven life. And so Straight Path actually came about, the actual name, it was, from a faith background, through a scripture. It's actually Proverbs 3:5-6, which it was a scripture that says, trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not on your understanding, all your ways direct your path. But there was another version of the Bible that said he will direct your paths. And so that's where, or to straight your path, your paths will be straight. And so that's how Straight Path came about. And so when I was thinking about exactly what we wanted to do and what the Lord was trying to show me with that, I just thought about, first of all, going to college, or going to get my degree in life coaching, because I wanted to learn more about it, and that's what I ended up doing. I ended up getting my master's degree in it, and human service counseling, and then concentration was on life coaching, and then got a mentor and things like that. And then I realized what part of my life do I want to coach, because life coaching is about helping people that that have experienced similar things. So you have experienced something in your past, and you're helping somebody come out of that same thing. And so our family grew up in poverty. All of our life, we were in poverty, and it was very difficult as a child because we didn't know why we was poor. As kids, we don't have the education to understand why it's happened to us. We always used to blame God because, that's what we thought. We have a faithful father, a faithful mom, prayed all the time. We just didn't understand. And so as we gotten older, we started to see other things, and unfortunately, in our, growing up in poverty, being Black family, one of the only families who had both parents, which is a blessing in its own. We only knew what your neighborhood and stuff like that, and but we just didn't really understood the education behind getting out of poverty. It was just it's just what and we normalize it, generation after generation, everybody's stuck in this cycle. And so we wanted to learn more about it. And as we gotten older, we started to see things for ourselves. And as I start, learning more and more about how to get out of poverty, like one of our brothers that we all look up to, Sean, he had his own business, even going through college. He went through probably the most colleges a person has ever been to.
Top two, or Kela. I'm sorry, got it. Kela got it.
Yes, but he finally did it. He graduated, but he went through a lot of stuff. He learned a lot of things, and what we found a lot about is that foundation is like so important.
Yes,
and so
I agree with you.
Foundation is important. So being able to work, being able to like provide for your family, creating a legacy for your family, and so
that was a legacy.
Yeah. So basically, I mean, I don't want to bore you with this, but
It's not
just
boring, no. This is your time.
Oh, I just want to give y'all the foundation because it started out with a desire to want to help people that experience what we experience, being in poverty, and helping walk with somebody to help them get out of it. So that's like helping them to a straight path. Yeah. And like we know, it's not always going to be straight, but the idea is not that I'm going to help you get to a straight path. It's only God is going to help you get. That's where I the scripture from. But anyway, it's just trying to help somebody like who has been through a lot of the similar things. Just get out of it, like teaching them about financial literacy, teaching about whatever their long-term goals are. If it is to have a career field and whatever that might be, just walking with them to help them get there. And it's just a lot of times we just need support. We just need people networking, supportive networks, to help us get to something that we have never been able to accomplish. And sometimes you got to be around people who have done it before, and so I feel like that's the real vision of Straight Path, walking beside someone and helping them get there. Our tagline is, you start the journey and then we'll lead the way. So that is mainly. But we say that to say, you start a journey saying it's your goals, it's your vision. We're just going to help guide you to the ending goal. And so that's what we do. Weekly coaching, reaching like SMART goals. We talk about SMART goals a lot. And just walking with them and helping them get there. We try to partner with different community partners that have certain resources, but it's about empowering them. Yes. Empowering them to do it themselves instead of just giving them the resources and doing this, that's great to have it, but I want to empower them to do it themselves so they can look back and say, I did this. I created this legacy for my family, instead of it being like, somebody else, they're owed and they owe somebody or owe some agency that they've done it. So it's just empowering people to live a life of excellence. So
good job.
That is excellent. Hey,
call it up.
Hey, can I say something real quick? We are actually there's a few of us in this room that's been a part of this Straight Path. Per Columbus Works.
Mm-hmm. Shout out to Columbus Works.
Me, Cleta, Keelan, we went through the workshop and it was excellent. She always normally say it was 5-star excellent.
5-star.
Facts. Because that led to my career, Columbus Works, and that's a big fact. So I'm a living testimony of, what's ahead.
Oh, that's awesome. That's good.
That's big facts, right?
That's good. Mm-hmm.
Big facts. So yes,
I actually love you said that all three of them went through it, and I think a lot of times we have to be humble enough to admit we don't got it all. You got to come out of yourself and be like, you know what? Let me just step out of my comfort and do something different. Because the only way you're gonna grow is if you're uncomfortable. And so that's what they did. They actually, when they did that, things happened. Like they both, all three of them got a chance to do something very different in a career path. Now Keelan is going into IT, which is awesome. Kebo, he's already doing maintenance, but he still wants to do. We all are business owners, and Cleta, I've been pushing her. She does all of my marketing stuff. So I absolutely appreciate her. So social media. Listen, she didn't even go to school for design, and she's awesome. So you go straight path coaching. You go on our Facebook, our Instagram. That's all her. And she's a writer, so I'm waiting for her to do that. So I need to have her on here for real. But anywho, but yeah, I just wanted to let that know. But thanks for saying that. Like, y'all really did.
So, to your point, Pusha. Remember, I was the one where I was like anxiety. You got anxiety. I was the one out of the family. Like, well, not out of the family. Keep on, but Kalita. Remember, I was so scared to do the interview. Yes, I was like so scared, like where. So Columbus Works, they would teach you like, how to interview, how to do this and that. But my sister was there, and I like, it was a time where I didn't work, and she was like, "Fast, do this and that, boom, boom, boom," and like I'd be anxious, my anxiety go up through the roof. But so I did like a personal interview, but if my sister wasn't there, I wouldn't even did it.
So can I ask you a question?
Yes.
So what about, because this is good information for other people that are going through what you went through. Because I think a lot of people feel that way when they're trying to scale up. They don't necessarily know where to start. And then going through the interview process when you already feel like you're maybe not good enough, can just add on to that when you already are, but you just don't know it. So what about that interview process gave you so much anxiety? Like, what made you nervous?
Well, at the time, it was because like what I was going through, like, sometimes when it's rock bottom, your confidence can just leave.
For sure.
You know what I mean? So my siblings, all of them. At my lowest moment, I talked to this sister, and this brother. Where I got to the point where it's like, how much can I like deal with like anxiety and like depression?
Right.
Because I was going through depression, right? And he said Team B. Team A still look out, but at that moment, Team B was around me the whole time.
For sure.
So, but it was hard to like get that confidence back. And they all pulled up for me, you know what I mean? It was just like, like, I didn't like the interview process. For me, it's like interrogation because I'm a thug. I'm a thug.
First, you can't tell?
I'm a thug. You know what I mean? But then it's like, when it comes to like the interview process, my anxiety goes up to where I got to the point, like, to now, to then, I'm bringing all y'all up because it was a point where I couldn't, like, I'm more comfortable in my skin now. Like, where I was able to be a coach. I'm wearing this hat. You get it? Coaching? Like, not coach. But I got in this position. I got in this. But it was, it's a coach hat. But it got to the point where I couldn't stop being like scared of the expectations of others. I got like, at my lowest, not only Team B, Team A was still by my side, where, I know I was nice in basketball. I know, we ain't gonna say names, but you already know who's in my class with me. But it was just like, how could I get out of this when I'm at my lowest?
For sure.
And at my lowest, they don't pull it up for me.
So how did the program help you implement some of the skills they show? Like, what was the process and how did that help you kind of like make your way to becoming more confident, have less anxiety?
I was the most person probably in that class that had the most anxiety. It was me. And at that moment, I want to make it about my sister though. But at that moment, I was at my lowest. So it comes a time where that's a double phone. But I don't want to But I want to make it about my sister. It's her.
It is.
it's good.
But here's the thing.
But
So the reason I'm asking is because it is, and like if we're trying to highlight the program, and you telling me your experience on what the program did for you, I think it's important to talk about that.
The program, Columbus Works, it was like basically people like the interviewing skills and whatever they went through.
Okay.
So it's really about like teaching you how to do this and that. So this part, you wanna highlight Columbus Works?
Just to piggyback off of that, he's basically saying, which I agree, prep. They really prepped you.
Yes.
Prepared you for the interview. The skills.
Got you.
You know, they was real good at letting you know how to answer certain questions, how to respond, posture, all those.
Okay.
Like, it was the biggest part was getting you prepared for the interview. Right?
Yes. So it's Columbus Works. I'm about to tap back into straight path coaching. It was hard for me to do that. Like, so I got 2 boys, right? And sometimes you would see, like, I feel like I'm not doing enough with my kids, but I have to be there. Like, all right, JR, Jelon, he gonna fail, but then he can look at me. Like, I got you. So it was like with the straight path, that's what like my sister taught me. Not taught me, but showed me. My brothers, my sisters. And it was like, I felt, my brothers always pick me up, my sisters always pick me up. Where it's where it let me know I'm okay. Like, so she was doing so much to the point where she looked out. And we always look out as siblings. We was taught to look out for each other. So, go ahead.
That's inevitable.
That's good.
I'm actually interested.
Go ahead.
There she go.
Interested to learn more about like what you do offer, because I would love to partake in that. I've always wanted to do some form of counseling or like therapy, but after this last program, I'm in my master's program right now and I hate it. I've decided no more college for me, but like I would love to take part in the class or the program that they were all in, and then I would also love to potentially wherever I can volunteer or help, I would love to take advantage of that opportunity if it's there. So just to throw that out there.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. So Columbus Works is so it's job readiness.
Okay.
Is what it's a workforce. So I was with Columbus Works for 7 years, and in June I was there, nonprofit, and so a lot of where the coaching, the life coaching part, helped me to do straight path, because I started when I did the life coaching piece at Columbus Works. So they do a 4-day job readiness class. They're now partnering with Goodwill of Columbus, and so they do a 4-day job readiness class, and it is more, not they see, like they have experience, it's more than job readiness, because they are really helping you face the barriers to your success, whatever that may be. So when I was with Columbus Works, I helped to introduce that aspect. So we would talk about, we're going to face these barriers. So we'll talk about, okay, what barriers did you come in with? Like, no more like sweeping it under the rug. We're actually going to face those barriers, those giants is what they would call them. And so we would start the conversation there. Then we'll talk about professionalism, all those type of things. And then they'll help you get prepared in the interview. And so with the interview process, it's like they want to see how you are on first day and then the last day, because the last day you're going to see your improvements. But not only are they talking about job readiness, they're talking about like how you see yourself, how people see you. Which is really great, because they do the Myers-Briggs. They also talk about like thinking like an owner. They talk about really a lot of the meat they talked about was health and wellness, and then conflict resolution. Which conflict resolution is a
Explain that.
So conflict resolution is
Get over here.
You're ridiculous.
You're the real siblings right here. Like the real siblings. But conflict resolution is a really great topic, because we teach you how to like respond in conflict. So sometimes we want to react.
Yes.
Yeah.
So react.
No, I got the joke.
It's not a joke.
Okay. Well, go ahead.
To that point.
No, seriously.
Y'all
Hey, stop cutting her off. Go ahead.
It's Elena brought this too. This is Elena brought. She grew up with us. She really did.
Sure.
This my big sister too.
Yeah, they were the twins. Yes, for sure.
Twinsies.
So yeah, I mean, conflict resolution was a really, really big topic. It's always a hot topic at Club Search because people don't want to face the truth as to why they quit or leave a job. Now, we're trauma informed, so when that just means that we have taken the training to understand that people really go through childhood trauma, which is a topic that is like overlooked a lot, and so they're triggered in the workplace. They don't realize that this boss who is giving them attitude reminds them of their dad,
Right.
who abandoned them or who this and that. They don't understand that there's a relationship there. Instead, they on attack mode, they on fight mode, right? And so we're trauma informed to understand, like, okay, people are dealing with real trauma, and employers should take the time to understand their employees, but they don't, and that's the problem. And so, what we try to do is like try to educate the employers. Like, if you want to keep these people, then you got to understand where they're coming from. You got to have, or at least have the support network, like coaches, life coaches, to help them. But conflict resolution it was a big thing because it's like you had to really understand, I'm going to wait to respond instead of reacting to this situation. I'm going to wait because because that, however I react, is going to help me. It's going to make me lose that job. And then I'm without a job once again. I'm on this cycle and da-da-da. But it's a really great class, but it was a starter, right? Like Columbus Works was a starter. Like what the life coaching piece did was help you. Now that you give you the awareness, now we're in the action. You're aware of this is what's going on. Now, what are you going to do with that? Now that you know, what are you going to do with that? Are you just going to be like, okay, that's just who I am, whatever? Or are you going to actually say, I'm going to make some steps of change? And so the life coaching comes in afterwards. And for me, when I was at Columbus Works, I was like, I want to continue doing life coaching because that's the change maker there. Because the Columbus Works is awesome. And I still advocate Columbus Works to this day because they do something that no other workforce does. And it's really the people. It's the people. It's the people that are there. Shout out to Katrina. Shout out to Art.
Yes,
like
shout out Katrina.
They are the ones that really care about these people. You got people going through these workforce stuff, and they're just like, they just want to just check off people. They see people as numbers, but they see them face to face. They knew their names. They knew who they are. They know their lifestyle. I mean, everything. And so, like, when you have a team like that, that's why we worked. We worked together for 7 years. And I still called them my brother and sister. Well, Art is like he was my work dad, and Katrina was my big sister. But like, we are always going to be a team no matter where we go. And so that's why I wanted to step away and do Straight Path, because I wanted the action to continue.
So can I ask you a question?
Yeah. And I got to get back to Elena's question because she was asking me about that.
Yeah,
yes.
Let
me speak to Elena.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, Elena.
Man, that time was crazy.
There's a lot of room for volunteer. I love that you said that though, Elena, because your life experience, everything you went through, even though like you saying like, okay, you made that decision, that's self-love right there. When people can make a hard decision like that to say, I'm going to do what's best for me, not what everybody else think I should do, not what looks good, whatever. Like you did what's best for you to say, okay, I'm going to step back and like, okay, this is not for me anymore. And like and it's so sad because you get a stigma from like, oh, check mark, you aren't gonna listen to this person because they have this and they have that and whatever. And it's like, that's not true. Life experience is the best teacher. The best teacher. You got these people who have gotten all these doctor's degree but don't know nothing about the people they serving. Know nothing. So I'm just saying, like, I'm proud of you for doing that. Like, don't feel bad whatsoever. And you have a lot to offer. And I think what life coaching does is helping you get unstuck. That's what we do. So when you're stuck in a situation like, I don't know what I want to do, where I want to go, how life coach is supposed to be able to come alongside you and be like, okay, what you want to do? Okay, we might be able to see your potential and we're going to help you walk you to that destination, but it's ultimately up to you. And so the difference in, we talked about that, me and Kela, she put in our social media difference between counseling and coaching. And I always say, counseling.
I was going to ask that question.
Yes.
That's a good point.
So counseling, what I always say is that it takes your past experience and trying to get you to the present, trying to help you understand your past. That's what counseling is. So you go in, you digging deep about what happened to you, making sense of it so you can cope with it. Coaching is take you from where you are and then where you would like to be, so where there's a conflict is I can't coach somebody who is still dealing with their traumatic childhood, because it could be triggering for them. If I push them too hard, it's going to make them feel like, oh no, they're going to remind them of something. They're triggered. They don't want to do it anymore. Wow. So you have to be in a position to where you feel like at this moment, I'm ready to move forward. Mm-hmm. Because if not, then you're going to be triggered by that. The coach saying, come on, let's go. Let's do this. Like it's just because life coaching comes from sports. It comes from sports coaching. That's what it was originated from. And y'all know how our coaches was. They were hard. Yeah. But, life coaching is not meant to tear you down or anything. It's supposed to help lift you up. Mm-hmm. And even with our coaches being as hard as they were on us in sports, it's because they seen our potential and they wanted to pull us out. That's what life coaching does. So life coaching, you definitely have to be ready for it. You're ready for the change. You're ready to take the action steps for the change in order for you to do it. But if you really feel like you're not ready and you may need some counseling, that's okay. They both are great. So that's how I say.
All right, go.
Break. No.
Yeah, what?
I feel like straight path should be the first segment, and then other two. Is that okay?
I can cut them out. I mean, I can cut them out.
Can I just ask Putin a question?
Just a little bit. I got sweatpants, and I should have thought about that.
Get out of here.
But no,
I got something to do at 7.
Sorry, I didn't know.
Yeah.
No. I just have a question for you. So.
No, I'm fine.
With as far as therapy, right? How do someone, because I've been to therapy, how does someone deal with childhood trauma, right? And they take it into adulthood. Mm-hmm. So how can you coach them when they only dealing with the childhood trauma where they don't realize they actually have adult trauma mixed in with both? What would you say to them?
I mean, if they're still dealing with, I would advise them to seek therapy, because the biggest thing is they have to recognize it. Because with triggers, if you don't recognize it when it comes,
triggers, yes, I agree.
It would just always be there. Like if you can't recognize your triggers and then know what to do with those triggers, and that's why you talk about coping skills and stuff like that. Like I'm not a therapist, I'm not a counselor. Yes. So I wouldn't be able to, say, hey, do this or do that. I mean, I may remind them of whatever coping skills their therapist already has identified with them. But if they're dealing with current trauma, I will always advise hey, are you open to therapy? So that you understand, because people deal with trauma on a day-to-day. It's how resilient you can be with those type of triggers, because some people deal with it and they know how to deal with it, and that's okay, but there's other ones that they don't know how to recognize that it's trauma they're dealing with and the triggers and whatever. And so I would ask them making sure they have that piece, so it doesn't, because it is a barrier to their success. If your mental health sometimes can be a barrier to your success, and it's okay to be at a pause. So that's just pause and be like, let me deal with it. That's okay.
Sure, the straight path.
Yep, straight path coaching. Yep.
So you did say something about conflict resolution. Is that something, and you said that employers need to learn how to deal with certain issues with employees. Mm-hmm. Are you working with employers for that purpose and not just the employees? Mm-hmm. Okay.
You have to. So one part of, that part was through Columbus Works. With Straight Path, we're starting what is it called, employee engagement coaching. Mm-hmm. And in that particular program, we're still doing personal development coaching with the individual, but we are educating the employer as well.
So you're going to the companies and giving these courses? All right, that's dope.
Yes, we're going to the actual company. We're providing training for the employees, and the employer. That's the only way we're going to partner with them. They have to be in partnership with this change. Mm-hmm. They have to understand that they are part of the problem. Mm-hmm. And some employers want to make it sound like, oh, well, these employees should be grateful and they should be this and that. I'm like, you know what? You have, in some ways, you have, hired these people and treat them like they're just slaves in the moment, give or take. I mean, that's really what it is. It's like you don't care about what they can who they are as a person. You just care about what it does for your company.
Right.
And you wonder why there's a high turnover rate because people, naturally, everybody wants somebody to feel like, they're valuable, that they care for, that they see them as an individual. And when you dismiss that and you just want them to get the job done, they're not going to stay. And so us being able to educate the employer, understand you're part of the problem too. And if they're educated and they're trauma informed, then it could be a great relationship as we're also helping that employee and helping them figure out what's going on, because they look at it truancy like, oh man, they're never here. They're just showing up whenever they want to. But you don't know that mom or that it could be an individual that has issues with finding childcare. They could be having issues with their mental health. They could be having transportation barriers. You have no idea what this individual is going through to get to this job on time.
For sure.
And
they don't even care.
They don't care.
Yeah,
and one thing my coworker says, because Trina, I love her. She my sister, but she's through Columbus work. She said employees are not there to meet your emotional need, and I agree with you. They don't. They're not there to meet your emotional need. But if you want retention, if you want your people to stay at where they are, then you need to learn a little bit more about them. You need to do more things about them. That's why when you talk about companies that are successful, is because they have things for their employees. They have certain things that that will make them want to stay. So I don't know. We try to put that training on both the employer and the employee in order to make it successful. So
then we want to have a work-life balance.
Yes.
Because you work, having the wellness all the way around, not just you go home, if you're battling something. I know they have AEP programs, different programs within the larger companies, but I love that this is an opportunity for even smaller companies to take advantage of, because you might have a really, really good colleague or a really, really good employee, but they're also facing some background things that could be impacting, like you said, them coming to work. But I think it's important, like you said, for the employers to be able to be aware of that and provide some type of a help for those colleagues so that they don't turnover or lose the good ones.
That's the big thing. They're good ones. You just have to meet them where they are sometimes.
So can I add on to that? I think the conflict resolution kind of works two parts, but for me personally, we're in a free market economy. So essentially what that means is that everybody's trying to push for the dollar. They're trying to push to be the maximize profit. They're trying to be the most efficient, get the most out of my employees, which makes you care really less about them physically. You know what I mean? So what I would tell anybody that enters the workforce period, learn the rules and regulations of your company. Because all companies have guidelines to protect employees. It's called human resources. Every company has it. Now, whether they enforce those properly and don't try to turn a blind eye to certain things or try to fire people illegally, it happens, you know what I'm saying? But when you get your job, treat your job like you would treat your car, you know what I'm saying? Go through the manual, go through your human resources, go through the rules and regulations, because once you get the opportunity, now you need to learn how to protect yourself and maximize your opportunity in there. And put that together with what a program like this is going to do for you, and then you will really be unstoppable, because at the end of the day, that is a dope idea to want companies to hold themselves accountable.
Yes.
But it's not always realistic for them to do that. If we can get more programs like this implemented, it can probably change the future. But as of right now, protect yourself. Learn what you're walking into, because then you empower. That's self-empowerment.
Yes.
That's literally self-empowerment alone. That's a small step you can just take. That's my 2 cents.
That's true. Very, very true.
Can I just ask one more thing when it comes to the... So, can you explain real quick? Because there can be some confusion with how life coaching is. Like for example, say how a method is you use to help somebody get through something. Because like how you say, you usually would tell me you ask them questions. You see what I'm saying? Can you explain that method so people understand? Because sometimes people think life coaching is you just telling them to do something, and then you know what I'm saying.
That's a good point.
That's a great question.
That's a good point. That's a great question.
That's
Yes, that's a great question. Thanks for asking that. So life coaching, really, it's really trying to help. So we do the goal setting piece. And when we talk about the asking questions, so this was something what we call motivational interviewing. You ask them certain questions, and so and it's the right questions that help people move to a different, move into their goals, into their tasks. Yeah. So with life coaching, when you're actually sitting with them, you're asking them questions like, what is it that you want to do? Where, what's the barriers that stand in the way of that? What's this and that? And so like when you're asking them questions, you're empowering them to make these decisions. I cannot give people goals. Like they have to be your goals. Right. If I give you my goals for you, it will not work. It will not work. So when you're talking to somebody, you're like, when you're asking them questions, what do you want to do? Where you see yourself, we start with in Straight Path, we look at the long term, and our long term goal, I only say 1 year. What do you see? How do you see yourself? Where do you see yourself in 1 year? Because sometimes people can't see that far. Yeah. And so I'm trying to slowly get them to get to 5 years, to 10 years, whatever that is. But let's start with 1 year. The 1 year is like, where do you see yourself? Okay, they may say, hey, I just want to be in my own apartment. Okay, great. What does it take for you to get into that apartment? A job? Okay, great. How much money do you have to make in that job? What type of job? So I'm asking you questions, and you're actually creating these. I'm helping you develop the goals that you already have. And so with those questions, it helps us develop a plan. And then from that plan, we're walking with you, and I'm just making sure you're staying accountable and your goals and making sure you meet them. But that's a great question. It's really, we're asking them questions to understand what their goal is and helping them, and then just walking with them to make sure they reach them. So when I meet with them the next week, I'll ask them, there's always homework. What did you do? Did you do what you say you were going to do? If not, then we're right back in step one. So yeah, it's not life coaching. People think life coaching is, I'm going to tell them all about my life, and it's not about me. It's about them, And so, I may share my story here and there, but it's really about that individual I'm helping. And a lot of times they're helping me as well. Like I don't always have the answers, but it's just a matter of, just helping them prepare with what they already have. So yeah, but great question. Really, really good question.
So with life coaching, do you feel like, since you the life coach, you basically with people, they probably like, you guarantee me a job. And then it's like, it's taking like the accountability out of the person, said person, where it's like, no, I'm throwing you the hoop for this and that, but you still got to show up. You still got to do this and that. So when it comes to that part, how do you feel about that when it comes to that part? Like, because you already know it's going to be people that be like, no, I did this. You're supposed to do this for me.
We always clarify that, and we always say that, like, art is big about that, saying, we're not getting you the job. You're getting the job. We have to put it back in our lap. We have to say, no, this is you. This is what I'm going to help guide you. I'm going to help be a resource for you. But this is you getting the job. This is you getting your own place. This is you. You have to put the responsibility on that individual.
The resources.
Yeah, because that's why I say, even when we do goals, it's not our goals. I'm not going to be accountable for why you're not reaching your goals. You have to put the steps in place.
That oop is like the ball is right over the rim. Because they set you up with the employer as well.
Facts.
So go back to what he's saying about like anxiety during the interview. By the time you get with them 4 days, you know what I'm saying? It's a cakewalk when it comes to the interview, right?
Yeah, that training does help. It does. It does actually help. So yeah. What about you, Elena? I like to hear Elena. What do you think? What have? I'm sorry not to take. I just want to ask this question. What do you feel like has been a challenge for people like trying to, I guess, succeed in in their career field, or even in the job that they're at? What do you feel like you've seen in your past has been a hindrance for most people?
I know. I actually just had one of my colleagues apply for another position within the company. Her thing was resume. So like, she's like, can you help me with the resume? And of course I would, but not knowing much of her background, she didn't know really what to put in the resume. And I think that's a big piece that, do you guys address that in
resume? Okay. Yeah.
Resume is a big one. And what are the things that you would put in a resume? Like if you're going for a particular type of a job, what should you put in there from your past experience? I know for me, like I used to struggle with that, but I try to, even the smallest things that might that might be something that I do within the job that I'm going for, I try to plug that in there somewhere, somehow.
Got you.
But the resume is a big one for sure.
That's a really big, especially with AI.
AI.
A lot of people use AI. AI can be very useful for sure, but you're right. Resume is a huge thing. And one thing I'll say about this, to not get off topic, but with resumes, this is so interesting. So because a lot of companies are using AI generated like recruiting platforms. It's like you have to understand, you have to, like, if you're going to use AI to build a resume, you have to teach that AI. So if I'm on ChatGPT, I have to teach ChatGPT, or Copilot how to speak to this particular resume because it's just AIs talking to each other, and it's really weird. That's why I say I don't. It's like I love AI, like I love it, but I also despise it at the same time because when it comes to the interview process and the resume, it's lazy. If you don't have the certain keywords in your resume, they're gonna knock you out. The keywords have to be in there. How you form your resume have to be in there, and that's what the AI recognizes. If it doesn't recognize these keywords, you're going. That's why you get these people apply and they get these immediate, oh no, thank you. But if you can have your AI speak to that AI that's on that application, then you'll get, oh yeah, we're going to do an interview like that because it's speaking to each other.
That's good to know. That's a good point.
So companies, they would know if it's AI. So are you saying, but you are saying,
how would they know it's AI?
What?
How would the companies know?
Some of them.
It's certain keywords. So basically, when I was taking IT class, they would say like, your resume would just get passed over because it's like they don't know how to reword what ChatGPT or Copilot says. So some people, they would just put it on their resume. So it's keywords, like my sister's saying. What you laughing at? But it's certain keyword. It's certain keywords where they know, like, is I'm lying? Isn't it certain keywords that a company look for? It's a yes or no, right? So, but then if you just strictly using AI, so certain companies are like, nah, you ain't even trying. Even if you have a resume, it's like, nah, you ain't even trying.
We have had. That's a good point. One time, I was about to say you got to be careful AI. So because it's not just because you have them do it on me, it's factual. So you'll say. So I'll just give you an example. I'll be on Copilot or ChatGPT. You'll be like, have my resume fit this job description, right? So you'll do that, and so it'll combine something, and the next thing you know, you're like, oh shoot, I didn't know I had construction background. Like, I'm a doctor too. So I'm just saying it can lie, and you go into the interview, and then you sitting there talking to the interviewer, and they're like, I don't know nothing about that job you're talking about.
People will say this: if you use AI, proofread your AI. You gotta proofread it.
You have to.
You gotta proofread your AI.
But people thinking AI is like everything.
They copy and paste, but proofread the AI. You don't proofread it, then you can either be, like you said, a doctor. You might be a doctor with a
high school diploma. That's what I'm saying. Last thing I just wanted to say is that we have a single mom support group coming up. It's going to be. We'd love for you to come.
I'm there. Already count me in.
I'll say we have a single moms support group happening September 20th. We're doing a launch event at Linden Life from 5 to 7, and the point of it is to celebrate our single moms and in a way that see them as the sacrifice, that they give every day, the steady parent that most of the time that they are, and so just to celebrate them, we're going to launch this event. The hope is that we can do it every month, once a month. Single moms come together. It's a beautiful thing. Single moms come together because there's things that they know that they can share with each other, and they can be their own network, their own support. And so that's what we're doing, starting again September the 20th, Linden Life, 5 to 7. Hopefully we'll have some type of
send like
how can people sign up?
For people to sign up.
Is there a way people can sign up right now? Can you give them?
Well, it's a. I would say go to our. It's not on our website yet, but go to our social media outlets. Instagram, Straight Path.
Yes.
I think it's a straight_path _coaching for our Instagram and Facebook. You can look us up there.
Okay.
You'll be able to find the flyer there. And
Proud of you.
Awesome.
Thank you so
Women
much,
the
Jimmy.
backbone.
Appreciate you guys.
Excellent.
Women want
Thank you so much for coming and
Yeah, this was
partaking
fun.
in
good. That was good.
conversation with
Thank you.
us.
It was
Yes.
That was good.
Politic'n and shades.
Shades, yeah.
With shades. Yes, I
But
love
shout out to Straight Path, right?
Great.
Straight Path.
What I say?